Hello, my name is Chris, and I am the lead alumni coordinator of American Addiction Centers. And I would like to introduce my mother who has joined me. Could you introduce yourself to everybody?
Yes, I'm Dr. Carrie Randazzo, and I'm the clinical director here in Clovis, California of Touchstone Recovery Center.
Awesome. And yeah, so the reason we're doing this is for Children of Alcoholics Week. And as you can see, we both work at treatment centers, but we are both also in recovery. We're mom and son in recovery. And yeah, so throughout these videos, we're going to be talking a little bit about what it was like for me growing up, and then also, later when those roles kind of reversed, and then me getting sober, and then also, talking about how our relationship healed and repaired and everything like that. And yeah, we really want to do this. So whether you're struggling with addiction or you have a parent or family member or friend or anybody, we want to give you some hope that no matter what happens, you can hopefully get sober and begin, healing and all that kind of good stuff. So without further ado, I guess we'll get started by Mom sharing a little bit of your story and what led you to that beautiful bottle of alcohol.
Ah, that beautiful bottle. Yes, it was my best friend. Well, let's see. Drinking wasn't really. I grew up, as you know, Chris. We're Sicilian. You're part of Sicilian, and our family. That's just what you did. You drank. I mean, there was alcohol on the table when we were 4, and you could have a little sip for your anxiety, or you could have a little sip just to celebrate. Okay, so I was kind of it was a cultural drink, and I wasn't getting drunk or anything. Then in my teenage years, I did party a little bit with the kids, I have a twin sister, We would party, and then at 19, I got pregnant. Yeah. So I was going to change my life.
So
Pardon me?
You were partying back in the disco days, right?
I was a great disco dancer, by the way. Just FYI for everybody. Yes, we did. We were getting into bars at 14 because of the disco days, and it was the 70s, and you could get in and you could dance. I don't remember over drinking, but I would have that one. It was called Tom Collins. You would drink that just to quench your thirst so you could dance for 6 hours straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I did get pregnant at 19. Oh, yeah. I got pregnant at 19, and then I was going to change my life, meaning I was already working full-time as a secretary, but now I was going to get rid of the friends at the disco, all of that, and have a child. So, of course, I had your sister, Nicole,
Mm-hmm.
and then I met your father, because I met your father, and we got married, but I had gotten pregnant is why we got married. Mm-hmm. I do everything backwards, Chris. I go to college and have to get married after I have the kids. Anyway, so then I got pregnant, and that son, Philip, he died when he was about 4 days old from a congenital heart defect. And thus the downward spiral of my life. I was only 21 at the time. In fact, I held him while he passed away. It was a 4-day ordeal that seemed like a year, and I developed anxiety, severe anxiety and depression, to a point where I was immobilized.
Yeah. So what? And then what? What'd you do about your anxiety?
I went to a doctor, and they gave me Xanax. I remember it was 1 PRN every 4 to 6 hours as needed for anxiety. Well, my anxiety was so bad, I was taking it 1 every 4 to 6 hours. I was not drinking at the time. I was taking the medication. Okay. It was helping, but I had to take it every 4 and 6 hours. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And then you got wonderful news that a new baby boy was on the way, didn't you?
Yeah, Christopher. That was you. And at the time, that was 1983. You were born in 84. And the doctor, because of my anxiety, he said, Carrie, keep taking the Xanax. Don't worry as you take it as directed. So that's what I did. Mm-hmm. However, the day you were born, it was horrendous. I had the worst day of my life when the pediatrician came in and started basically yelling at me, saying, your son is in there having detox. What have you been taking?
Yeah. So back then, because some part of this, when we're talking about families and addiction, a lot of people don't fully understand addiction. So while you were pregnant with me, were you seeing the same doctor who had prescribed you the Xanax?
Oh yeah, it was my obstetrician. No, yes, I was seeing. It was a psychiatrist, and I was seeing my obstetrician and a therapist at that time.
Okay, and none of them said, stop taking Xanax because of this baby.
No, they said every one of them directed me to the obstetrician, who said to keep taking it because it was much better than me getting anxious while I was pregnant and damaging.
So since you're a doctor and you have a lot more experience in this, how like just the physiology of this thing, did me coming out withdrawing from Xanax, did that make me more prone to becoming addicted myself later on? Like since I was already hooked on something as a baby?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you were doomed. Now that I look at it, you were doomed the minute you were conceived. I'm sorry. Sorry, son.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your body doesn't. You already had the gene, apparently. Mm-hmm. You had the gene because it runs in your father and my side of our family. They give me Xanax. It's highly addictive. You can't stop taking it while you're pregnant. So you come out detoxed. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my fault.
Yeah.
I take it.
Yeah, but no, it's also interesting to me that the doctors, didn't see an issue. You know what I mean?
Well, addiction's a specialized medicine. I can understand them not understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. So, all right. So moving forward, I'm born and all that kind of stuff. When did the drinking kind of escalate and what was going on?
When your father and our marriage started to deteriorate really fast. And then I decided this motherhood, this trying to be a good wife thing wasn't working for me. So I was going to go out and have fun.
Yeah. So yeah, just to kind of recap that, my parents split up when I was 4, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were about 3 or 4.
I was 4, and you were living in Central California, and Dad moved to Southern California. And I eventually went and moved with him. So basically I look back and I remember, just, I don't know, I'm 31 now, so trying to remember back when I was 4, my earliest memories were going to visit you on vacations, like Thanksgiving break, Christmas break, summer vacation, and all those things. And by that time, it seemed like your drinking had really escalated. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what age I was when it really happened. But yeah, most of the time when I was coming over, you were either working or you were drinking.
That's it. You were 4 years old, and we have a picture of you sitting on Uncle Ronnie's lap with a bottle of 151, I think.
Yeah. And and back then, like, so tell me, like, as you being a mother, because I have my own experience I'm going to share about being a father, but as a mother, did anything spark as maybe this is a bad idea? Or like things
not at all.
Yeah.
And not even one spark. Not one.
Yeah.
Not one that was acceptable. It was cute. It was funny.
Right.
We weren't letting you drink it.
Yeah.
You were just holding the bottle laughing. It was Thanksgiving, I think. No.
Yeah.
And I was in college at the time.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So moving forward, and then you met my stepdad.
Right, I met him at a bar. Yeah, that was wonderful.
You guys were together What was that?
Pardon me?
Oh, I was saying that you guys were together for a while before you got married, too. So I remember him being around when I was pretty young.
Oh, yeah, you were about... I met him when I was 26, so I don't know how old you were.
Yeah. So on my end of it, being the kid involved... I don't know. It didn't affect me too much. I don't think. Like, I didn't think this guy was replacing my dad or anything. Maybe it's because I live with Dad or whatever. But with how much you worked, my mom, she worked a lot. I don't know how many jobs you had during that time, but you were working, you were going to school. So I was around this guy a lot. And me and him got along pretty well. He did believe in the old spanking punishments and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't too bad for me. He was just a stepdad. I figured that's what stepdads were like. But no, I remember just at a certain point, I don't know what age I was, but I remember just every holiday I was coming down, I was dreading it. I think that might be when my anxiety started too, just as a kid, going into different, because I was visiting on all the holidays, and I never knew what to expect by the end of the night. You know what I mean? Like as my mom mentioned, we have a Sicilian family, and some tempers can run high, and then you throw some alcohol in the mix, and I don't know. I just remember leaving some of those like Christmas Eve dinners that are supposed to be a good family get together, with you, you a little tipsy, and passing out in the car. So I remember that from a very very young age. Like, was there any point when you started realizing that your drinking was kind of getting bad, or people were starting to point it out to you?
Yeah, I was 28 years old, but I didn't think it was the drinking. I thought it was the possible antidepressant medications I was taking, so I'd slow those down. And I also thought it was I was tired and fatigued from working 2 jobs and school full time. So it couldn't have been the alcohol, Chris. It really couldn't, that I was passing out, getting drunk. It was my metabolism too.
Yeah.
I'm a woman, I'm small.
Yeah.
I was just overriding the mark.
Yeah, and that's something that this disease of addiction tells us. It tries to blame everything else in our lives, right?
Always.
Yeah, it doesn't want us to say,
pour me another one.
Yeah, right. And if you were going through your own stuff and the stress and the job and the school, and if other people had to deal with this stuff, they would probably drink this much too, right?
Of course. Of course.
Right. So at any point, just for any kids out there, like I want them to like kind of understand what's going through the parents' thought process. Like, did you think at all or anything like that about how it was affecting me, like seeing you like that or anything?
Well, every time I passed out and came to. So every time and that was in the morning, I'd come to. Mm-hmm. It wasn't falling. So every morning I had regrets. Like, Carrie, you shouldn't have drank that much. You'd be over at a visit. You loved your gaming. So I knew you loved being with your gaming and your friends over. But I knew I had to be a better mother. And I just kept. So in the morning I would have regrets. I wasn't going to do it again while you were there. I'd make these promises after promises, and I'd break them every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and
of course.
Yeah. So that that kind of leads into my teenage years. So for me personally, as a kid and or like a teen, I remember getting to a point like you hit puberty, you become a little bit more independent, anyways. And for me, I remember telling my dad, at a certain holiday, I don't know what it was, I was like, I just don't want to go visit anymore. I just didn't want to go visit. It was the same thing over and over and over again. And I just felt like, I felt all these things, felt like, oh, she doesn't love me, she doesn't care about me, she doesn't even care if I'm there, she doesn't notice, or whatever. And what I did was, because my dad actually, he was out, partying a lot and stuff like that. And I was fortunate to meet my best friend Alex when I was younger, and his family kind of took me in, right? So when I wasn't going out to visit my family on Thanksgiving and Christmas and things like that, they were inviting me over. But, for me growing up, it always felt like I was kind of on the outside. Even when I went, was visiting my family in California after we moved to Las Vegas, it always felt like I was just that kid who was visiting, And then, when I got, my friend's family as my family, I always felt like, oh, they're just taking pity on me. And I think that's important to discuss because that's something that leads to addiction. We have this idea that we're different or we're not a part of. We feel different than other people. So during those years, I didn't know where I fit in or where I belonged. You know what I mean? So that was kind of a weird time for me. And, I was turning, just at an early age, I was turning to relationships, and there's probably some parenting psychological stuff that had to do with that. I was always looking for, that high school love, maybe somebody to love me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.